So I've said it before and I'll say it again, animation is such an underrated storytelling format as Sneaks is such an entertaining animation comedy movie. Now, when it first started, I was like, oh god, this is going to be the longest 90 minutes of my life. But then when the storyline started to get going, I was quickly won over, and then I thought this is such a brilliant movie and it's got so many wicked messages tied into the narrative, and it packs in so much in that 90 minutes. And I love the narrative structure of this movie as it starts off with a bit of a down in his luck teen winning a pair of ultra designer trainers, or sneakers as they call it in this movie, and then it very quickly becomes about the sneakers themselves in a bit of a Toy Story Pixar style format, and then the two shoes get separated, and so the movie is all about how they're going to be reunited. And it's got a slight severance quality to it in terms of these two pair of shoes are brand new into this world, and so are super innocent and are learning everything for the very first time, and so are very easily manipulated and easy to be taken advantage of. So we have Anthony Mackie voicing one of the trainers, who is called Ty, and he is such a nice character. Like I said, he's super innocent, he doesn't know anything about the outside world, and so because of that, it's a little bit dangerous, as he's a really flashy, ultra designer pair of shoes, and so he's got a lot of bling on him, and so a number of other characters might want this. His sibling pair is called Maxine. Now she is a little bit smarter than Ty, but the irony is that she is stuck inside with a number of other trainers slash sneakers, and so I just love the duality of these two separate characters going on their own little mission, but obviously are tied together, no pun intended. Martin Lawrence does such a good job voicing JB, who is an abandoned shoe and is super street smart, so he can immediately see that Ty is somebody that he can very easily take advantage of, and you really do feel for Ty as a result of this. As the movie progresses, you do find out a lot more about JB and JB's backstory, and so I just loved it how even though these characters are a pair of shoes, there is so much depth to them, and so they really are able to recapture the magic of the original Toy Story movie. We've also got the human character, Edson, who is the person that wins Ty and Maxie in the brilliant ultra shiny pair of sneakers in the first place, but then he gets it stolen from him. And so it's really, really interesting because he's supposed to be the main character, or who you think is going to be the main character as the movie starts off, but then he very quickly becomes a bit of a background character. And then we've got Laurence Fishburne, who is voicing the Collector, and it's really, really brilliant with this character, as he is originally coming across as a bit of a douchebag and the villain of the film, but in a very similar way to JB. As the movie is progressing, you find out so much more about this character, and so you really see that he's got so much more depth to him. And I just loved it, how he wasn't just a bad for the sake of being bad type character. Actually, you can see his motivation, and in some respects, you do kind of feel sorry for this guy. But then speaking of bad for the sake of being bad type characters, we've got the Forger over here, who is the true definition of an evil character, but you don't really find out anything about this character apart from him being an absolute douchebag. To some extent, you can understand it, as they do pack in a lot of characters, a lot of storyline materials, and a lot of backgrounds for a number of different characters, and it is really good, all of the ones that they do, so you can understand why they didn't have enough room to maybe do it for the Forger as well. And also, I feel like you're not really supposed to feel sorry for this character, but you are for all of the other ones. And then speaking of all of the multiple storylines that are taking place along the movie, it's really well written as they all collide in such a brilliant way right at the end. And I just love navigating across New York City with all of these different sneakers. It felt very much like how Spider-Man's neighborhood would be when he is swinging around New York City. And then speaking of Spider-Man, you can see that the animation is very inspired by Into the Spider-Verse. So, you know, it's really easy to dismiss Sneaks, but actually it's a really, really decent animation movie. It's got a lot of charm, it's got a lot of wit, and it's actually really enjoyable to watch from start to finish. And so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of Sneaks? It's a little bit of a different type of animation movie, so let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.